Podcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar from Rack to Ready, LaserVault ViTL for fast, reliable IBM backup. My name is Axe Signer, Vice President of Electronic Storage Corporation. We are located in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We have been in business for over 30 years. I've been with the company since 1991. We are an IBM registered business partner, Microsoft certified partner. And here in our Tulsa office, we have our own programming staff and also technical support and customer service staff. So we're going to give, for our agenda today, an overview of our ViTL solution, basically just a demonstration and some of the features, capabilities, configuration settings for defining your VTL solution for IBM backups. We're going to discuss a little bit about data deduplication to optimize your backups, deployment, so how easy and simple to install and configure a VTL solution, perform backups, restores, and just basic day-to-day, daily, weekly, monthly backup operations. Within the GoToWebinar panel, there's a in the options there for questions and answers. So if you do have some questions towards the end, we'll go ahead and present that, and you can ask questions and I can answer those for you. So what is ViTL? It's a virtual tape solution purposely built for IBM environments. We're going to kind of go into detail with that with this particular solution. So emulating tape, which is going to eliminate delays, risks, and manual hassles in working with physical tape. And then we're going to talk about how it works with IBM backup commands, BRMS, robot save, full system restricted state saves, demode IPL, all of the capabilities in which you have using physical tape simply transforms simply and easily over into virtual tape. So this is going to allow you to automate, streamline your backup process. We do have an option to add data deduplication, which I mentioned on the previous slide. This saves on storage costs and greatly reduces the amount of data that you might be replicating to a DR site for disaster recovery, which would be your backup's second copy, and or cloud storage. Also, we're going to talk about a brand new feature within our solution called multipath, and this gives you more storage flexibility, and we'll talk about that during the demonstration. So data deduplication, number one, save on storage costs. Compared to, say, Z compression or what have you, we're talking about anywhere from 10-to-1 compression ratios all the way up to 40-to-1 compression ratio, depending on the amount of change data that you're dealing with during your backup or on your IBM system. So as composed to that, you're looking at 2, 3, 4 times the compression ratio in which you have block level data deduplication, and also you're reducing the amount of data that you're going to replicate from one site to another for disaster recovery and or cloud storage. So BEdupe is our optional built-in feature for performing data deduplication and replication of your backups. This is the basic diagram of a typical installation for many of our customers, depending on their IBM environment. But just to give you a high-level overview of the connectivities that you're seeing, the ViTL server, and also the ability to use ViTL to access existing storage. Whether that be any of our technology partners such as Exagrid, Cohesity, Rubrik, Pure Storage, IBM Data Protect, whatever. So this gives you the flexibility. Maybe you don't need additional storage for your IBM backups when you can utilize SAN or NAS storage that may be existing and leverage that storage for your IBM backups. So this is really showing our gateway solution where we're passing the data directly through the fiber channel connection when you perform your backup directly to storage, which would be 10 gig Ethernet, fiber channel, 25 gig Ethernet, whatever speed that you want. Whereas the ViTL server, being a gateway, doesn't require storage to write your backups to and then because you can write directly to the backup storage that you have exists. And then we're looking at a replication capability, which all of our technology partners have replication capabilities, where you have a second vital server in case you need to restore or perform saves at that second location. One of our latest technology partners being the IBM Defender Data Protect. So this allows you to utilize that storage platform, that backup solution with the Vital Gateway configuration, where you can write data directly to Defender Data Protect cluster and store your backups there, and also restore your backups from that solution. So that's a latest announcement that we have partnered up with IBM and Defender Data Protect so that customers can utilize that storage for their IBM backups. All right, so let's do a quick demo of our solution. I'm going to go into this web interface with my username and password so I have secure access. First thing I'm going to go to is libraries. So this interface is pretty much set up for your setup, your configuration, any changes that you would need to make, any tapes that you would need to add additionally to your inventory for your backups. So you initially set the tape libraries up here. Again, this is going to be from the VTL solution to your IBM either a fiber channel connectivity, which could be your existing tape, similar or the same as your existing tape, physical tape device, or SAS connection, which also could be, that's a different connection that has sometimes customers with that have that connected with tape. So let's take a look at library 1 and the settings. Just the name of the library is whatever you want to name it, which corresponds to this menu option, library 1 on the left, which I'll show you in a minute. We have different Ultium versions that you can emulate. None of these have a storage limit to them. So if your backup is 20 terabytes, it can all fit on any of these LTO versions onto one tape. This is the number of storage slots. So currently I have it set to 60 storage slots, which means I can add 60 tapes to my inventory into this tape library. Each tape library that you define can have its own set or number of storage slots for the number of tapes you need for your daily, weekly, monthly rotations. This number can go as high as 16,350 tape slots, which would be virtually everything online. Right? Your physical tape library is limited to the number of tapes in the magazine. In this case, there is no limit, virtually no limit on how many tapes you can have within this VTL to access for restores. You can set a capacity. Some of our customers back up journals throughout the day, and they eventually want that tape to fill up so it rotates to a new tape. We have some cache settings. So the number one thing that we're wanting to accomplish with you as a customer is faster backup speeds, especially compared to physical tape. So these are some, and also that would include restore speeds as well compared to physical tape. So we have several settings here that we can tweak and change during testing when it's first installed to give you the fastest backup speed and the fastest restore speed. We're looking at 2, 3, even up to 4 times faster than a physical tape backup during saves and restores. We also have the replication retention capabilities. So within this is built into the solution. If you're having LaserVault storage, which would be local storage on a server in which the VTL software is hosted, then you can define your replication from that backup on that server, on that storage, to cloud storage, to a DR location, or to both. So you're really not limited to how your replication can be defined in terms of where that target should be to make a copy of your backups. So I have network path, which would be to a DR site, co-location, whatever the case. S3, Azure, Wasabi. So those are different settings that you have for any of these cloud storage in which you define and set up your cloud storage account or use your existing cloud storage account, object storage, in order to have space there to replicate backups. So if we edit this replication, we have the ability to set which prefix tapes volume IDs to send. So D for daily tapes. If your daily tapes are prefixed with the letter D as in daily, then you can set D there and then set this up to replicate daily tapes. So depending on the prefix. Asterisk just means that this replication job applies to all tapes. Notifications, you can set an email address in here to notify automatically when a replication job's completed or started, completed, and in case there happens to be some kind of issue with the replication, you'd get email notification. We're enabling replication. You can also replicate blank tapes. Network path, we're going to do all volumes, or you can do number of volumes. So if you're looking to run this every other day, every week, you could set however many copies that you're wanting to replicate back from when this job runs automatically. The compression, now compression comes standard with our product. It averages around 4:1. So our license of ViTL, which is a perpetual license, includes compression, also includes encryption, AES 256 encryption. Deduplication would be an additional perpetual license fee to perform deduplication of the data for your higher level compression and reduce your replication times. So in addition to replication, you've got local retention, remote retention that you can set to expire tapes. Now, if you're using BRMS, Robot Save, those products are going to handle this part. So those products are going to handle the expiration of tapes, the initializing of those tapes once they're expired when you run maintenance. So you can typically wouldn't use these two features unless you were using, say, any of the go save commands to run your backups. Okay, so now let's talk about multipath. So this latest version of our product includes multipath. As you see, I can two paths here. I have local storage path on a server. So my e-volume of disk is my local path. So I'm using that as a landing zone for my backups. This could be done for speed. This could be done for whatever the case might be in terms of if I'm migrating from local to cloud periodically, my tapes, but I want to save locally instead of saving directly to cloud because of speed. Or migrating tapes to SAN or NAS storage at any time that you'd like to, but still be able to access those tapes, restore from those tapes, and see those tapes within inventory, which means, say, for example, you're using BRMS, even though the tape was migrated from local storage to Azure Cloud Storage, BRMS is going to see that. If I happen to perform a restore, it'll restore from cloud storage that object or that library from that tape volume within that I selected in BRMS. And there is no limit on the number of paths that you can define on where you would like to keep your virtual tape backups. So some of the settings, we just give the tape path, the library path, a name, which I'll show you how that applies. Path here, data block file count. We talked about cache settings for backup speed and restore speed. This is for also backup speed. In this case, we've got this set to 8. So when you perform a backup, a tape is loaded into the virtual drive and you start your backup. We're actually writing the data to 8 files at the same time. So the data is being split out across 8 files, which means that does increase backup speed. So when we first started developing this solution, we came up with this option because it did double, triple backup speeds as opposed to just writing to one data file. Some compression, encryption, your encryption key is here, deduplication, as well as settings are here, which just basically apply to block size and things like that for depending on your deduplication threshold and things like that, garbage collection. So, and what we'll do is we'll work with you remotely to help you get everything set up in terms of giving the optimal backup speed with deduplication and the optimal compression. You can do inline deduplication, which means during the backup, the data is being deduped at the block level. Turn that off and this job can run after the backup instead. Now we support NPIV with fiber channel connectivity, so we'll talk about these worldwide port name here, access or control path yes. So for each fiber channel connection from the VTL server to the IBM I through a switch, you can have up to 64 virtual tape devices with NPIV. So that means 64 individual tape libraries with a tape device for each, or a tape library with 64 virtual tape devices allocated. So you just simply add additional entries here for the worldwide port names, zone those in your switch to the partition that you want to use this particular virtual port and virtual tape library, and you're good to go. And security within the interface is here. So as a group administrator group, which I'm logged in as, I have access to this and I'm allowed to make changes to other groups on what they're allowed to do within this interface. Again, once this is set up, you really rarely use this interface, especially if you're using robot save, BRMS, and even if you're just using go save commands. Of course, you can use any physical tape command, load tape or mount tape, initialize tape, any of the tape commands you can use within for this as a tape device or tape library. Allow migration of media. So when we talk about, let's exit this, let's go to library 1. So when you first set this up, you've got your drive, however many drives are going to be set up for this tape library. Drive 1, you could have drive 2, again, up to 64 drives with just a single fiber channel port with NPIV. Then you have all your tapes, slot 2, 3, 4, these have been already created. You have a serial number, or volume serial, which is 6 characters, just like physical tape. Now this is important here that the path column shows you actually where that tape is located. So as you see, local tapes are currently blank. They've been initialized. I ran a backup to the system, which saved to the local, to a tape that's on the local path. And then I have within BRMS to automatically migrate it to Azure, the Azure path. But as you can see, those are still available to restore from. And it shows which path that they're actually located. You can go up here to the top and click on your Azure path or your DR path. You could point this to a DR site. You could point this to Exagrid, Cohesity, Pure Storage, whatever that you could be having migrated tapes to, and see those tapes within that path. Here are all my local path tapes, and you can of course see all inventory. Okay, so first, this is going to be blank. When you first set up your virtual tape library, your slots will be blank. Go create tapes. Oh, I got to select a path. I'm going to go local. I'm going to create tapes. Put your volume prefix, say D for daily, for example. Create multiple tape images. Initialize those tapes, which is the same as INZ tape. And you go ahead and create all your tapes. So what's great about this system is you can create tapes anytime you need more tapes. You can add, increase the number of slots, so you can add more tapes. So it gives you a lot of flexibility to increase the number of retentions that you'd like to keep for any daily, weekly, monthly rotations. If we have protect, that means that you can protect any tape, write protect it, so it cannot be overwritten. It cannot be, yeah, we're recording this. You'll get a copy of it via email, a link. It'll be posted on our website and on our YouTube channel. So we've got move the tape. So if you need to move the tape to a slot, or you need to manually move the tape into the drive. So say you got a full system save, you need to do a D-mode IPL, you'd move that tape into the drive that you're going to boot the IBM partition from and do a full system restore. Delete the tape, I have access to that because I'm an admin. Migrate the tape is moving it from local storage to whatever. So you can choose the path to migrate it to. So this is a manual migration. I'm doing this manually, but this can be an automated process, and you can run it at any time. So if you want to keep a week's worth on the local path or whatever path, and then migrate it later, like once a week, you can do that, and that would be an automated process. I actually have it running in my BRMS exit program to automatically move the tape, migrate the tape after the backup is completed on local storage. Write protect, so you cannot delete it, cannot be initialized, cannot be overwritten. We've got a little screen here that you can click on labels and see the files, the libraries, and their sequence and their size, which if you're using BRMS, that's also all that stuff's in there along with objects. And all your restores are the same in terms of using BRMS, robot save, or even IBM restore commands. Some other capabilities here, you can, if you've got replication jobs that are running within LaserVault, you can see those are completed. Any jobs that are running, those are listed. Add your users here, your groups here. We put up a screen here for port information. This is typically used when you're first making those fiber channel connections or SAS connections, just to show that you have a link up, you have an enabled port, and that your port ID is going to show you that it's connected through your switch and been assigned a port ID. So let's take a look at IBM. So there's my VTL, my tape device. Oops. Tape device. I also had this as just to emulate it as a regular tape device too, so you could do that instead of using it as a tape library. So really simple. Once it's set up, fiber channels connected, zoned, you're going to have a tape device or tape library. If you have auto config turned on, pop up, ready to go. I add it, and then you're creating your tapes. If you have BRMS, you're just adding those into BRMS, assigning those a media class, and ready to go. So as a quick recap, fiber channel or SAS connectivity, just like physical tape, you got the NPI capability with fiber channel up to 64 virtual devices per fiber channel connection. SAS connection on the VTL server can be 12 gig, is typically 12 gig. Fiber channel can be 16, 32 or higher on the fiber channel. Full system saves, D-mode IPL, that's restricted state full system saves. Leverage your storage, existing storage with connectivity to SAN, NAS, deduplication appliance, automatically replicate backups to cloud storage, disaster recovery. And that's the thing, if you're currently using physical tape, you know that you don't have 2 copies of your backup. With a VTL solution, you've got 2, 3, however many copies that you want. You can also migrate physical tapes from to a VTL solution using Dupe Media BRM, Dupe Tape. You can migrate from a current VTL solution to a solution like ours with Dupe Media, Dupe Tape, and copy those backups over to your virtual disk solution. Okay, and along with questions, if you have any questions at this time, it's a great time to go ahead and type those in on the questions option within the GoToWebinar panel. Also in there are some documents, resources to download, sizing questionnaire. This would give us an idea of how to configure a solution for you in terms of fiber channel, SAS, if you're needing disk space for your backups, if deduplication is a solution that would highly benefit based on the amount of data you're saving. How to modernize your IBM power system, some testimonials, great customers we have, of course, data sheet on ViTL. One thing I do want to note too is that this is not an appliance-based solution. that this is software that we developed within our programming staff here in Tulsa. So we do offer this as a software only option, which is a perpetual license. So we can provide you server specs, storage amount needed, everything that you needed to go source that hardware yourself, where you can just purchase the software licensing through us. And also on our website, you will see several of our business partners, our resellers that we work with. And then, so if you've got an IBM business partner that you like working with, you're working with now, we can work with them and helping you configure a solution. Now, this can run in a VM environment, fiber channel only, and that is only if you would have a PCIe slot available for fiber channel HBA to be installed in that server, which hosts the VM for the VTL software. In most cases, that's not a capability where there's no PCIe slots available in your VM servers, your ESXi servers. So therefore, you want to go ahead and purchase a server. Yeah, it is per VM, right? So the licensing is not scaled by storage quantity. It's per instance, per installation. So it'd be per VM, per server. So if you're looking at, say, for example, you're saving at your DR site, you need a license there. You're replicating to production for disaster recovery or vice versa, then you've got a second license there. So it's per VM. It does not scale by storage quantity. Now we do have, there is an additional very small license fee for each fiber channel port that you're authorized for. But that can all be covered if you want to visit with us via a conference meeting where we can go over your configuration for the number of fiber channel or SAS connections that you need and present to you a solution, whether it's software and hardware, even software and fiber channel or SAS HBAs. We're really flexible on how you can configure this solution to keep your costs down, really, is the whole idea. Okay, so we're going to have a drawing for a 1 terabyte SanDisk portable SSD. Pretty cool there, lots of storage. So that'll be a drawing that we'll have at the conclusion of this, and the winner will be emailed, and we'll get that ordered for you and get it sent out. So good luck to anyone, to all you guys, folks. Contact us at info@laservault.com. There's our 800 number. And info@laservault.com. Give us contact there. Now we'd love to sit down with you and in a meeting and see what configuration options that you'd need in terms of hardware, software, licensing. So to really help you configure the most cost-effective solution for the amount of data that you're backing up, your replication needs, deduplication, you know, all of those factors we're able to quickly and efficiently help you get your solution solidified to give you the best advantages. Yes, correct. Demode IPL. Yeah, you go through the process just like you would physical tape on Demode IPL. The exact same process. And all your restores are the same as physical tape. And they're faster too, because one of the things that our solution will do is go right to the object or library. So we'll go right to that location within the backup itself, within that virtual tape. And so therefore the restore begins immediately as soon as you press the enter key. All right, just checking to see any other questions out there. Feel free to email us too after we're done. There will be a survey if any of you have a moment, just like 5 or 6 questions there. If you could go ahead and fill that out for us, that'd be great. That gives us some idea of if we're giving you the information you're looking for, and anything that we might have missed going through the presentation, because we went through a pretty high level of the solution. Okay, great. Well, we are out of time. I appreciate everybody for your time. Please let us know if we can help you out. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.